Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of NCW, also known as New Comic Wednesday. If you haven't been with us before, we chat for a few minutes every Wednesday about Zenescope's newest releases. If you don't know who I am your NCW host, Amber, and it has been all of 2023. So I guess today's January 25th, since I finally made an appearance this year. It has been a struggle because we didn't have new releases for 2 weeks. And then the 1 week they grounded all the flights and I was on the plane. So Casey had to hop in and take over NCW for me. So it has been a very, very long gap for NCW, but I'm really excited to have everybody here today. And I know you guys will rewatch later because it's the middle of the day. There are 3 awesome releases today, and I have 2 incredible special guests that I'll bring on in just a moment. But big special day. In the meantime, you guys know the intro. If you have never joined us before and you want to read Zenescope and you don't know where to find Zenescope, you can get our books in 3 different ways. You can either head to Zenescope.com and press new releases, and it will show you everything that has been released previously, so you can catch up on all of your favorite storylines. You can also head on to Comixology digitally and read on the go, and you can shop at your local comic shop. Always make sure that you go and support them. You can get a subscription. If they don't carry us, make sure that you ask for them to carry us. On top of that, so you never miss an NCW, a Coffee with Casey with Noah, movie club, a VCon, anything, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and that you share this in every way possible. That means you comment on it, you like it, whatever you need to do, react to it so people find out about NCW and they find out about Zenescope's newest releases, because it's the only place you get access to our writers, our artists, our creators, to talk a little bit more about the awesome releases that we have. So without further ado, I will dive into today's first release that we'll be talking about, which is Wonderland Annual, It's a Wonderful Life, which is $7.99 in our web store right now. I know Casey is in the background and she will hop up these beautiful covers for me any moment, so you guys can check it out. But 3 just incredible covers. I was just totally blown away. All 3 of these are awesome. I'm feeling these good like purple vibes. This cover B, just when I saw it, I was, it's everything. So Wonderland Annual, It's a Wonderful Life. If you guys didn't know, Wonderland is one of our most popular series here at Zenescope. We don't really write too much on it recently, which it might change, and that's what I'm going to ask our guests about just momentarily. But in the meantime, this is the synopsis on the story. Wonderland, the realm of dreams, has placed a target on the little family since Callie was born. But what Callie never existed? What if this realm never had a chance to sink its claws into her? How would the world have turned out without the erstwhile queen of all the madness? Find out in the twisted holiday story filled with cheer, Yule, and insanity. 64 pages. So as always, drop in the comments what your favorite cover is, how much you love it. But in the meantime, I will bring on our first 2 wonderful guests of today. Our first guest, you know, as our editor, he's our publisher. He's been at Zenescope forever. And this is the first time he's joining me in 2023. Hello, Dave. No.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, can you see me? Am I frozen or are you frozen? No.
I can see it.
Okay.
Hi. I don't know. I think because you've been cutting in and out on my end. So I think our internet's
have I? I don't know if it's me.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. It might be us. I don't know.
Might be.
It's all right.
Well,
how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Dave's making his way back here. So our second guest today is somebody that you guys already know and love, and we haven't had, I don't think I've ever had him on NCW before. We've done a podcast episode. He's done a bunch of different stuff with us in the past, but this is going to be one of, this story is really, really his story from the get-go. So without further ado, here is Raven.
What's up, guys? Raven? How's it going, people?
Yeah, I think it's Dave. Dave, you're pixelated. That's what's going on here.
I don't know what to do. I think it's funny that you guys swapped hair colors.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, dude, I just dyed my hair to match Amber, and she changed her hair back. I'm like, come on, man.
Damn, you right. But I'm repping like a version of your hair on my shirt.
Hey, before we get into this, can I please comment on the fact that Dave seems to be aging in reverse? Like, why? You should be so stressed out right
6
now.
months in a week.
Yeah, man, you should look like old Joe now. You
If
look
you saw the hair when it grows in.
One day, Dave's taking it at a time. So I'll kick it off with both of you. Wonderland Annual. Obviously, David Wall wrote the last story, which is connected to in this story, and I won't unveil. But how did this come about? How did Raven get back into Wonderland? How did this all happen?
That's you, Dave.
We set up a trap, and we caught him, and then we forced him to write everything. No, I mean, like, yeah, we just kind of had the story. The story kind of came up. It's funny. The idea came from like when me and Raven were working on Revenge, and it just happened to be like something we wrote where it was like, oh, it's a Wonderland life, and I was like, that's a weird idea, and then kind of just sat there, and it was sitting there, and then kind of worked out the outline with David. And then I was like, you know what, Raven's got to write this, and it kind of hits a lot of the stuff that he would be dealing with like Callie and Violet. We gave it to him, and Raven jumped on it, and he crushed it.
Raven, what was it like going back?
I'm definitely lagging behind.
You are. That's okay. I imagine that maybe there's like bad weather there, but Raven, what was it like to write a character or write a story that you haven't gone back to in so long? And how long has the gap been since Wonderland?
I wrote Revenge. What was Revenge? 2 years ago, Dave? Oh, it is him.
Yeah, it was like 2019.
Yeah. It was like,
definitely.
Yeah, 2 years. Man.
Let me try to leave and I'll come back.
Okay, bye, Dave.
It's crazy that I mean, I've written this character for so long. Every once in a while, I'll get tired of the characters. Years will pass, and I forget how much I miss writing them. And Dave came up with this story that like literally spoke to my soul, like encompassed like everything that Wonderland is, the growth of the characters, like the various character arcs. And I got to bring so much to play. I mean, when I first started out Wonderland, it was my take on, this dysfunctional family that was doing anything and everything in its power to stay together. Like all these horrible things are happening and just life is being thrown at them a million miles a minute. And they're just struggling to stay together. And then it became this, alcoholic thing. Then it became this mental health thing. Then it became like there's so many freaking facets to this story that keep on evolving over the years. I'll never get tired of it. I love all of the characters, and I hope I come back and write something else with Wonderland very soon.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So this storyline again starts off like from the get-go. I didn't read the synopsis and I started reading it, and then I was like, wait, who's Carol Ann? And then I started getting into this story. And so let's talk a little bit about Carol Ann.
That's Kaylee.
Yes, but like when her name came in, I was like, what is happening? I'm like, is this the story? Is this the same character that I'm following? Is this a different character? Because all of a sudden stuff started happening. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, no,
and then I went back and I read and I was like, oh, this is a what if. This makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I mean, one of the really cool things about this is I have been, if anybody out there who's watching this right now is brand new to Wonderland and has never read Wonderland before, if you read this book, please write me and let me know what you thought about it. Because I swear this book is written for the people that have been there since day one. Like there's so many elements that come into play that go back to the original trilogy, go back to the ongoing. And I'm not sure if it's new reader friendly, but it's
I don't know. I was talking to Noah the other day and he was like, what are you reading? And he was like, oh, I'm reading new Wonderland stuff. And he wasn't lost. And I was like, oh, because I was using him as like a guinea pig after that. And he was saying he pretty much, he was following along with it. And then he was like, now he wants to read more. So I think he did a good job of that.
Hell yeah. I was really worried about that because like we dive into so much history and there's so many, if you've been reading since the beginning, there's so many little elements where it's like, so if Kaylee didn't go to Wonderland, this would happen. And Dave had so many cool ideas, both of the days, about which direction for these things to go, and getting to play with all these characters that existed and never existed. It was, man, I love it. Thank you, Dave.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you guys crushed it. I will say I really liked something in the story, and I don't know if it's like an Easter egg or what it is, but one of my favorite songs of all time is Dream a Little Dream of Me. And obviously this song. So why was that song sung in the story?
Just because it's one of my favorite songs in the world. I used to sing it at karaoke all the time. It's what I use to pick up on women. It doesn't work.
Yeah, that might ruin the mood. Like it slows the mood down a little bit.
Yeah, did not work at all. Also, Dave, seriously, you're looking younger than you were last time. Like, do you have a filter on your phone or something? Are you using a special lotion?
No, but I am on my phone now.
Where's the wrinkles? There has to be some stress bag lines and no sleep. There's nothing.
No, there's tons of sleep and depriving and stress. I don't know. I can't help you, man. I'm definitely aging. I'm feeling it on the inside, at least. As
you are right now, I could put your face on the side of the Gerber baby bottle, and that's how young and beautiful you look.
Well, that's like, actually what I try to model myself after the Gerber baby. I mean, I figure you gotta aim for the peak, and Gerber is probably that's it.
That's true. Although the Gerber baby, did she just die or she turned like something? I forget.
Reincarnated, maybe. I don't know.
Baby, your skin. The people at Zenescope. Just
now I gotta Google if the Gerber baby died. Like, why are you doing this to me, Amber? Everybody,
I think she was like an old woman or something.
I drained her youth, and I took her spot. I'm sorry. Sorry.
So, not to spoil anything on the story, but we did get a connection to the last Wonderland Annual, and there was a point during the story where it did tease that there was a lot more to come in Wonderland. So, I guess my first question is, Dave, is there a lot more to come in Wonderland?
There's plans. There's definitely plans right now. And then, yeah, I mean, yeah, our plan is to put more Wonderland out there. We want to get more. We want to keep these characters growing, and like we've introduced a lot of new characters, and I can't spoil anything because it'll spoil this book, but then also the plans for the next story too. But yeah, like things that are in here set up for what's to come, like new characters we haven't seen before. They're definitely in there. So Raven, everybody will find out soon, hopefully.
Yeah. I want to spoil it for everybody. At the end, it's all a dream. Surprise! Wonderland. Who knew?
That's a lie. You are a liar, sir.
I will also say, look, Casey, I was right. The Gerber baby did die.
No! What are you guys doing to me, man?
He was 95. That's old.
Oh, God. It's like
baby at the Gerber geriatric.
Oh, man.
Anybody over the age of 45 is old.
Oh, the Gerber zombie.
Oh my God, I'm turning 45 this week. What are you doing, Amber? What are you doing to me? Wait, well, Dave, you're like 32 now, right?
35, man.
Oh God. Man. See, he's still. Oh my God. Never mind. You look your age. You don't look that young.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, it changes so fast.
I love that you have no hair, but somehow you whipped your hair back.
Anyway, I'm ignoring all this, Casey. So my point is that Wonderland, lots more plans to come. Raven will hopefully be more involved, and we'll get more to come in. Is it like more to come in 2023, or is that like 2024 and beyond?
2023. That's the thing. Yeah, we're still working on a few things here. But yeah, that's the plan right now. It's got a lot of other stuff on the plate right now, but we'll get there. Hopefully within the next month, we'll know exactly what we're doing.
By the way, Jason, to address the hair, sometimes in life, you make mistakes. And this is what happens, and you have to live with the mistake. This was not supposed to be what it was.
Well, you just start fresh. You just go
No. I did that last year. I had a mental breakdown last year and I shaved my head. I was like, this time I'm going pink.
Yeah, last time Britney Spears, this time pink.
There you go. That's it.
Well, it's always great to have you on, Raven. Like I said, I'm sure everybody's big fan. My last question for you is there any like Easter eggs? I know there's a lot of like callbacks to the original and how important it was, but is there any Easter eggs that you really want to shout out in this book that you were like, oh, you have to make sure you watch that, or fans will really love this part of the story?
Oh my God. The whole book is an Easter egg. Isn't it, Dave? Like everything.
I mean, it is and it isn't. Like it's a lot. It builds on a lot of stuff that happened before, but like in a way that like you're seeing it for the first time. At least that's how we hope that it comes across. But
it definitely does have that. Do you guys remember? Did you ever read Age of Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Remember, like right before it happened and everything reset, you weren't really confused. You were still in the story. But it was like, wow, this whole new universe was set up. It feels like that for me. Like,
almost, yeah, pretty much. Especially that last page.
By the way, before I get out of here, because I don't know if I have to get out of here real fast or whatnot, Dave, I'm so proud of you, dude. Like I remember just the other day, I was like, Dave, you should write. Like, come on, man. It's like, and he was like, Amber, you didn't know Dave back in the day, but Dave used to be a selling fool. Like he would be at the booth.
I heard.
He could sell to anyone. There was one time there was a blind guy who couldn't hear. He was like Anne Frank or something, whatever. The other one.
Helen Keller.
There you go. Helen Keller. One of those. And dude, somehow through touch alone, he sold like a whole collection of Grimm Fairy Tales to him. No joke.
Yeah, I robbed that guy, but thank you for
Legend.
I appreciate it.
Like from day one, man, you've just been after it, and you kept going, you kept honing your craft, and then you became publisher.
Yeah.
Yep.
God, the publisher, the little guy, that dude. Oh man,
inspirational right here.
I'm literally so proud of you, dude. You're freaking amazing. You're amazing too, Amber. But Dave, I've seen you since you were little, man, and you've come a long way, dude.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, before I get out here, I would just like to say, Dave, did I hit the deadline on this?
Sure.
I've written Wonderland for 15 years, and I never hit a deadline. I want you guys to know I finally did. I hit the deadline?
No, he did actually hit the deadline on the first version of the script. So like, yeah, okay. So you definitely hit the deadline.
Yeah, I finally, you don't know how hard it is being a writer out there, guys, but we make a lot of like procrastinations and excuses and you know.
Yeah, there's always something else, and you're like, always another fire, always something else to put out. But
yeah, so I hit the deadline. I did. You got the deadline. So that's for you, Amber, because you run marathons. I'm going to do a 14-minute mile. Did it today.
Yes. And you're going to run a marathon. It will come.
Yep. You're up next, Dave. It's time for you to get into the sexy 34-year-old shape.
Dave was running a lot. I don't know if you're still running, though.
What? I haven't been. I was running at like 10 at night. That's the only time I had time to run.
In Philly?
Not like on the streets at the gym.
Okay.
I wasn't Rocky. I wasn't.
Yeah, I saw you were playing the music.
Yeah, if a bunch of kids were running behind me, I would be more concerned than happy about it.
Hey, aren't you guys going to the Super Bowl?
No.
They are just going to the championship game.
We go one game at a time. We have the NFC Championship game this weekend.
Oh, so you guys aren't at the Super Bowl yet, but you're up.
Yeah, if we win this week, we'll be at the Super Bowl in 2 weeks.
So if you guys win, you'll be here in Phoenix with me.
Yeah, I mean, except for we're not part of the Eagles. So
right, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
So that's where it would be. Yep. Yeah, it won't be too far from you.
Amber, so the secret to this is if they win, I get to cheer my friend's team on. If they lose, I get to secretly make fun of them because that team lost because my team loses every single year.
I am very much looking forward to the Eagles not winning the Super Bowl, but I will also tell you it is my single.
I was going to be nice, and I was going to keep it. I was going to
Jason's like ticking me off in the comments. I'm in my last edge right here, but I'll also tell you that
you had a rough few months. You lost your coach.
I know it's been hard for me, but I'll also tell you. So I have to go to Philly the week after the Super Bowl. So that Tuesday I fly into Philly for the Magic show I work on, and it is like my single greatest fear that the Eagles will win the Super Bowl, and I'll have to like fly in on the day of the Super Bowl parade. Like it's like my single greatest fear.
That would be wonderful. I hope the best for you there.
I appreciate it.
I write comic books. I don't have a favorite team. I don't care about sports at all, except to talk shit to people whose team is winning or losing. That's the only reason I follow sports. Somebody wanted to know what my favorite team is. The Ravens. That's my favorite team because they have
the Ravens. Okay, that works. Makes sense.
I used to like voting against the Eagles because Ralph is such a big freaking Eagles fan, but I didn't realize how personal you guys in Philly take that shit. Like you guys don't fuck around with the fucking sports love and shit. Like somebody makes fun of your team, you get pissed off.
Man, we don't like the sports hate.
Yeah.
I mean, look at those Giant fans. I love so many of those Instagram posts are the best of all those Giant fans crying, running their TVs over. Or that was the Cowboys fans running their TVs over.
Okay. Anyway, back to this being my show. So Raven, it was so great to have you on, but we're going to talk about the 2 other releases today. So I will have you back on very, very soon. I'm sure.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate you.
See you later. Bye. Okay, so we have 2 other releases today that Dave wrote, and I know we want to talk about. So the first release that we'll talk about is our Grimm Fairy Tales number 68. That's where we're at right now. 68, $3.99 in our web story right now. Dave is flashing up those covers for you. Or maybe he flashed his favorite cover really fast, and now I'll secretly know that he liked cover A the best.
I just grab all the A covers.
I'm sure you do. Yeah, sure. The 4 incredible covers of Grimm Fairy Tales. And let me just read the synopsis for you, and then we'll dive in. A terrible evil is rising, and now Sky and the others at Arcane Acre, Acarn, I never say that right, whatever, must race against time to stop this darkness for consuming all they hold dear. But is it already too late? 40 pages. So Grimm Fairy Tales Volume 2, number 68. Dave, everybody tell me what your favorite cover is in the comments. But Dave, where are we in this Grimm Fairy Tales storyline? Because we know we were jumping realms. Now we're finally done jumping realms. So where are we? Are we not done jumping realms?
I haven't been reading, so I don't know. No. I mean this arc, it dives into like the Cthulhu mythos, but also like a lot of Lovecraft storylines. So we're taking that's all public domain, and we're taking pieces of that and we're embedding it into the Grimm universe, and that's basically what these last couple issues, like from 63 on, have been about. So like we've dealt with Night Gaunts, we've dealt with the Deep Ones. The end of this issue, you get it tied a little bit more into the Grimm universe, and then you'll start seeing how that works. I can't show that page, but you'll see how that works as we go further in the storyline, especially in the next issue, the next few issues. But yeah, I mean, it's really just it's becoming more of like a dark horror fantasy, like bringing it back to more horror, more twisted stuff, that like the creepy stuff that lives in the shadows, that lives in our oceans, that lives underneath our world, that kind of has always been there. And it's like that, those fears in the back of your neck. And now we're kind of seeing why we have those like inherent natural fears as people. And yeah, I guess that's kind of what the story is like rolling out. And it's something that our heroes have never really dealt with before, to the point where like Shang doesn't even, he had to reach out to get someone else to give him more information about this, because he's been around for hundreds of years, but this is way past like even humankind.
So lots going on in Grimm Fairy Tales, and continue to go on in Grimm Fairy Tales is what I'm hearing.
Yes, hopefully. As long as people keep reading it, yes.
I can't remember if it was Grimm Fairy Tale. No, I think it was Grimm Fairy Tales that I was reading today. Or was it Belle? Where like usually in the editor's notes, it says like, go back to this story. But I think it might've been Grimm Fairy Tales was like, read the last issue.
Oh, I think it was Grimm. Yeah, I think it was Grimm talking about, what is it? Yeah. Oh, because
Was it because you weren't sure what the title of the issue before was going to be before it went to print, or?
No, it was just like, dude, go back. It was just go back one issue. Like where it wasn't like read Grimm Fairy Tales 67. It's like, well, you're in 68, so just read the last issue. That's fair. And also too, you don't want to make those notes so jarring that pulls them out of their story. So you try to make them as concise and like with as most like the information they need right away without taking up too much away from the story. So that's why I might just be like, see last issue, because it's easier than writing like see Grimm Fairy Tales Volume 2, number 67. It's like see last issue. See
last issue. So easy, quick. How many Grimm Fairy Tales are we going to see in 2024?
I mean, for the main arc, the ongoing, I think we go to issue 78, 79 ends the year. I think so. Let me see.
So maybe 10 issues from now.
Yeah, so 79 will come out in December. So we'll be at 79. So it should be 12 issues a year. And then we'll have an annual in there that'll come out in December as well. So like 75 will give you will be a very big issue because it's an anniversary issue and it's going to touch on a lot of this stuff that we're setting up here and we're building towards. And there's some crazy, like the end of this issue, there's a crazy plot line that opens up. And then as we go, it's not the first one. So we're gonna have a lot of big things leading up to 75 this year and then beyond.
75, countdown to 75 coming probably in like the late summer, early fall.
It should be July. No, August. August will be 75.
Yeah. Late summer, early. Our second release today, Grimm Fairy Tales number 68, written by our own Dave Franchini. And now hopping to our third release, which is Belle, Scream of the Banshee, $5.99 in our web store. And those are the 4 beautiful covers. This cover D like really spoke to me. It's got some Haunted Mansion vibes.
The Ignacio now? Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's doing well on social media too. Facebook, it has like almost 3,000 likes and like 340 shares. Yeah.
Yeah, that's some Haunted Mansion vibes. But Belle has been a beast hunter. Belle has been a beast hunter her entire life, and during that time she has made many enemies, and none as heartless as the Winter Maiden, the seeming goddess of ice.
That's the one from last. That's the synopsis from last issue.
No, you're right, it is. Casey, you didn't update my synopsis.
Or I wonder if it's memory.
I won't remember. What was my synopsis? I can look on the. You're right, it was. I was reading it and I'm like, Winter Maiden. I'm like, maybe. Oh, I haven't been on the website since it updated. Oh, there's a lot going on this website. Oh, let's go to. Okay, here we go. I know. I'm like, we're about to read from that. I can't read like that, Dave. Everybody read along on your own as we come up with it. Oh no, Casey she pulled off the website, so the website synopsis is wrong. Hold on, I have the issue right here. Belle, Scream. Well, I mean, you guys can assume it's about a banshee, and she makes an appearance on it. Here we go. Since she was a child, Annabelle DeMarco. Oh, I think is it giving me my generic? Well, we'll find out. Has been haunted by her past, hailing from the bloodline of beast hunters and warriors. Her family has slain many enemies over the centuries. As Belle dives deeper into the depths of her legacy, she discovers that some of the blood on her family's hands, is innocent. And cursed with this knowledge, Belle will take on a vengeful spirit that will open her eyes to her ancestors' history, that will change her history forever. So the location of this story is very interesting to me. Is that a real cemetery? Do you
Yeah,
go to Laurel Hills?
It's right next to the art museum.
Do you go to that cemetery?
I've never been in it. I've been around it. It's right. You basically walk. What's it called? Like Kelly Drive leads there and stuff like that. You can walk around like the art museum there.
I know
Yeah,
where the art. I'm trying to remember where that cemetery is.
yeah, and it's one of the. It's like right up on the
is
hill.
that the one that's like up? Okay, that's the one that you pass on Kelly Drive.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Why that cemetery?
And it's actually, I think it's one of the oldest in Philadelphia too.
Why did you pick that specific cemetery?
Well, actually, the first issue of the new Belle one shots, the Belle Ghosts and Goblins, starts off in the same location, and that's where the Banshee is introduced in the like 15 issues ago. And then it actually, I mean, it was just really just I like tying things into Philadelphia for Belle. Like there should be real locations you can go to and things like that. I love that in comics. Like when I would read that in Marvel or whatever it was, you can go to the actual location that they had a fight or whatever. So that's what we kind of do with like we've been doing a lot of our stories, a lot of our like if you read Van Helsing, all those locations are majority of the time real, like real places.
That's cool.
So the same thing with like the Laurel Hill Cemetery. It was just it's keeping continuity with like where the Banshee's been, but also as you read the story, you kind of realize how they can like travel. Like we've kind of created our own lore to it, but how they can travel through different cemeteries and things like that, like tied to their family.
It would be crazy if for a future VIP event in Philly or something, we did like a Zenescope walking tour or like a bus tour where we go to like locations.
Arcane Acre, that's a real building too. That's a real place. That's what's it called? It's in Bryn Athyn.
Will there ever be a story based at the Zenescope office in Horsham?
We've had one. Raven wrote it.
Oh, really?
It was in a cosplay special, and at the end, it actually showed our office and stuff like that, and we were playing basketball. Funny. Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, I was like, ooh, I love a good cemetery story. Actually, I know once you said what cemetery it was, I got pulled over right by that cemetery once, actually. And I cried my way out of a ticket that I did not get. Anyway, moving forward. So I see that Hershey is launching a modeling career.
Well, he does. I mean, he's not launching it. His agent is.
His agent, aka his owner, is
maybe
launching
he has it on Instagram. I don't know.
What if we just hacked our Instagram and it was just pictures of like Hershey for like a week? Like, do you think we'd get a bunch of unfollows or we get more?
Yeah, easily we would just might as well just close our Instagram down. But I should have created a Hershey Instagram so that we can do like a hashtag and then people would be able to look it up. Maybe in the future.
That would be kind of funny, actually, if you created something and then people go into the story.
Yeah, maybe Hershey's the gateway.
So this story is like relatively fast, and not that it feels like a connector story, but it feels like it's kind of like setting up something else, or it's making its way. What can we expect for the future for Belle? Because the Banshee comes in, but other stuff comes in as well. That kind of makes it like she hangs out at the cemetery for the entire story. Yeah,
no, I mean like this story. I mean her stories they're all kind of standalone, but at the same time they're building on like her experiences in her life. And like, so her mom was killed. She killed her mom. It gets past that. She's moved on, but now it's really like delving into like the story. I try to at least hit on two folds of like her learning to kind of move past like loss and not worry about it, and not be so hung up on things that they can't control and kind of just like live your life. But at the same time, there's other things in here that actually tie right into like another story, but you don't need to read one to read the other or anything like that. But like the stuff that happens in this and the character you meet in this actually ties into the Cinderella story coming up. So you'll see a little bit of that. And actually that's the same thing, like fairies and fae, they all kind of, the banshees are part of that lore, that Irish lore. So like it all kind of naturally kind of flows together. So yeah, I mean, this story is kind of just, it's more the story within itself. The Belle part of the story is more just about her trying to figure out a way to move on and kind of like, and live her life. And you kind of see that, like, you see it hopefully through this. But yeah, I mean, her story is always going to kind of be building a little bit. We got some crazy stuff coming up. Like the next issue ties into the Greater Grimm universe and the Lovecraft stuff that we've been doing. So you see a little bit of that. And then we have coming up after that is a little more another guest appearance tying in with somebody else from Philadelphia. So you guys that'll go to solicits. We'll send it to print tomorrow, so you won't see it for another month. But so I don't want to say what it is yet until you guys.
Spoil. I see. At least Cinderella is coming up, I believe, in the next 2 weeks.
Yes, that printed yesterday. Yeah, printed yesterday. So we'll have that. That'll be on shelves. The 15th. So it'll be right after Valentine's Day.
The 15th. Yeah, I'm hyped. There's a lot of good stuff coming up. I'm really hyped for Valentine's Day, actually. Tales of Terror Quarterly V-Day. I love a good Valentine's Day murder story. There's nothing like love.
This says 4. It says 4 of them. So it's all, it was cool. Honor did a really good job on these. They're really good. The Valentine's Day one.
So Honor wrote those stories too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, then I'll probably have Honor back on in 2 weeks.
Yep, yeah, because that'll come out 2/8. We couldn't release it after Valentine's Day, so it's coming out the week before Valentine's Day. Even though it would have came out a day after, but yeah, it'll be out the week before.
Awesome. Well, as always, Dave, thanks so much for joining and taking time to talk through the stories. And it sounds like I'll probably have you on in a couple more weeks because obviously Cinderella will be up. But
cool. Yeah, that's definitely the weirdest thing I've written so far to date. So.
Interesting.
It just get weirder. I don't know. She just gets weirder. So it's her journey to try to rescue her new best friend Gerald.
Oh, this just made me laugh when I talked about murder, suicide, and love.
Well, read those stories. There's the husband and wife story in there.
Well, so there is. So everybody make sure you check out the V-Day issue happening in 2 weeks. And who doesn't love Dave? Dave is always a great guest. So you guys don't have your tickets to the VIP event that is happening in just over a month. You want to go because you want to, don't you? If you haven't met Dave, don't you want to meet Dave? You probably have all met Dave, but if you haven't met Dave, this is the time to meet Dave.
I'll be there. You don't have to meet me. I'll hang out.
You'll get to hang out with Dave and you'll get to meet Dave.
Sounds more like a punishment to them. I don't know if that's really helping you sell tickets, but
if you give Dave your phone, this is what will happen to you. I definitely still have pictures. Let me look from the last. I wasn't obviously.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, they just got there themselves.
I think it was me and Ebass. And let's pop it up here. God, I have so many pictures from all of our travels. Nope, this was San Diego. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yes, it was take this picture of me and Ebass, and this is what I get. And eventually I got a picture of me and Ebass. But yeah, who doesn't? This is just this is what you're missing out on if you don't come. Look how happy David Wall looks in this towel. This is one of my favorite pictures I ever took.
Looks like Mother Teresa.
You get that. Look at this David Wall and Jason. You get all that. You get
you only get that at the VIP events. Other than that, we're not smiling.
That's true. I get this sus picture of Noah. Oh, look, Dave, you're in the background of this. We flew on the plane. So yeah, only at the VIP event can you get sus pictures. Oh, look, this really good picture of Brad.
So come to the VIP event and maybe get good pictures, maybe get weird ones. Definitely get pictures.
You'll get pictures, and that's all that counts. But thanks again, Dave, for joining. I'll have you on.
Thanks for having me. I'll say it.
Bye. This was a particularly long NCW, so I appreciate everybody joining and hanging out with us the entire time. So again, we had 3 incredible releases today. If you missed the interviews, you're going to want to go back because I think this is the first time I've ever had Raven on in the almost 2 years that NCW has been happening. So Raven joined us. He wrote Wonderland. If you guys don't know Wonderland, go back and read the original trilogy of Wonderland. It is incredible. If you are a horror fan, an Alice in Wonderland fan, a good story fan, you'll really love Wonderland. So our Wonderland Annual dropped today. That was our first release. Our second release was Grimm Fairy Tales number 68. Make sure that you go back and you read 67 and those other story arcs as it keeps going. I'm just reading right now. This is we'll find out soon. We'll find out soon. I have a lot of trips planned in March for work, so stay tuned as to whether or not I'll be at the VIP event. I wasn't able to come to Philly, and we'll see if NOLA's in the cards for my work schedule. Moving on. So outside of then our last release was Belle, Scream of the Banshee. So 3 incredible releases this week on NCW. We have a few releases next week. We have 2, I believe. We've got Van Helsing. Oh, wait, no. We got Phoenix Files number 1, and we have Grimm Spotlight Inferno. So hopefully I'll have a guest on next week to talk through those releases, which will be our first releases of February as we move to 2023. That kind of about wraps it up today. A lot that is going on. I'm looking in here and seeing if I missed everything. Our next retailer live stream is happening in 2 weeks. That is Fat Jack's. That's February 7th at 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll be repping one of our Philadelphia stores. Coffee with Casey and Noah is every Monday at 1 p.m. They talk about some old graphic novels. They talk about some industry news, etc. So make sure you join them. Our John Wick event is happening. Our John Wick movie club. LOL. It's happening today because it says new date. So I assume it's happening in about 3 hours. So make sure you tune back in 3 hours to talk about John Wick. Fun fact, never seen John Wick, but I'm sure that the movie club will give you the reviews of what they launched. Our latest Kickstarter will be launching very, very, very soon. So I believe it might be launching tomorrow, but there'll be more info that you can check on our social channels to talk through the Kickstarter and what it's all about. I believe they're playing cards. So yeah. The other thing we mentioned is that NOLA, I mentioned this earlier on the club. If you haven't gotten tickets, thank you, Casey. There is the link for the Kickstarter. If you haven't gotten tickets to VIP event, NOLA, this is an incredible time to hang out. As we mentioned, I just showed you a picture of Ebas. Ebas is really awesome. You're going to love meeting Ebas. I've never met Mike or Dawn, but I know for a fact we've had Dawn in the past. People loved her. Mike, we've had, I believe, on as a guest before. So you're going to want to make sure that you hang out, tune in. That will start Friday night, and then Saturday will be an all-day event. So you'll have a really, really fun time. All of your favorite Zenescope staff will be in attendance, as well as Zenescope creators and writers and blah, blah, blah. Yes, I guess so, Gary. I guess I haven't seen a movie that Casey's seen. I've never seen John Wick. And now there's 4, so I don't know if I'll ever see it. I don't know. There's just like a lot to catch up on. I'm actually this week binging The Sopranos. I'm like, I've never seen The Sopranos, so I've been working on that. And then we'll have our next VCon happening very soon in February. I'm not particularly sure of the date. I don't know if we have a banner in the background, Casey. I assume I'm looking to see if we have anything. No, I don't see anything. So there you go. Yes, we do. February 15th and 16th. Oh, so we will have an NCW release that Wednesday. Like I mentioned, I probably won't be doing that NCW because I will be in Philly for work, but I'm sure Casey will hop in, and then she'll hop in to talk more on the VCon. So for the next VCon, make sure that you tune in, hang out with all of your favorite Zenescope friends, fans, family that are involved, as well as getting our latest awesome exclusive and collectibles, because that will be your first opportunity. And for many of those covers and books, it is your only opportunity. I'm seeing now if there's really kind of anything else. I'm seeing here there is an artist remix subscription that I should shout out. I don't know many of the, there we go. I'm assuming this is our latest subscription. This is the month, and I assume that it's coming into a close very, very soon. It's an LE $2.99, only available through subscription. So the only way you can get it is if you subscribe. Make sure that you head actually to our web store to check out all of our subscriptions and everything that's going on. I believe we have a sticker board, we have some other promotions, and you know that sometimes we run these campaigns, we only do them for a month at a time or a year at a time. So if you're a collector or just a fan, you're going to want to make sure that you jump in on all of that. So you have lifelong memories of Zenescope. That was it for NCW. This was a particularly long NCW, the longest I've posted in recent years. Recent weeks. I don't know what's happening here. Make sure that you tune in every Wednesday to hear about Zenescope's newest releases. That's Amber signing off for NCW, where you come for the covers here at Zenescope, but you stay for the stories. I will see everybody next week, hopefully with another special guest and some more updates on different things happening at Zenescope. Goodbye, everyone.